Hello and welcome to the Deep Dives podcast, the podcast where we go into the nitty-gritties of all tech solutions, everything that we use on a daily. In today's episode, we're deep diving into Expense Tracker, the tool that every department is using in our company, as well as the tool that has been a very essential part of our daily functionalities. With me right now, I have Varun Vyas and Tarun Malpani from the Expense Tracker team. We will be kind of going through everything that, from the beginning of the realities that we were facing up until, till date. So my first question is going to be, how long have we been having or using Expense Tracker for?
So I guess we started using Expense Tracker for about 1.5 years now. And this all began after the first trip in 2021 for 3 months. And being my first trip with IndiaNIC, the biggest problem that we faced after coming back was managing all the expenses and maintaining the books, right? Because for 3 months, you go to meet different clients, you have different expenditures that you make. And it was an official trip, right? So we used to have cards that we used for making payments, various occasions. And just to keep a track of everything, we used to save the bills and the receipts for each and every transaction that we made. And let's face it, the receipt doesn't last that long for about 3 months because it gets washed away easily when it rubs against each other or maybe when it's folded. Right, so clicking pictures of all those receipts and maintaining a sheet date-wise, and while you're on the go, it's very difficult to maintain a sheet while you're always on the go, on different meetings. So that created a clash after the trip where we need to give a proper expenditure for the whole trip. And the account teams used to have severe headaches when we talk about managing expense for 90 days or maybe longer trips, right? So that's when we actually decided and thought that this problem needs to be solved. And, if there is an application that you can be used while on the go that resolves all these issues, that can be a wonderful solution to have so that it's an easy transition between accounts team and the employee who are traveling on business trips, or even on day-to-day expenditures that you make every day in the company.
So why an in-house expense tracker? There's so many third-party applications out there that can help you track your expenses. We had to literally invest our own resources and time in building one. So why was there a necessity for us to build one from scratch for ourselves? And why not just use a third party?
Yes. So in market, there are many applications available regarding expense tracker, but what the problem we are facing that doesn't provide by them. Okay, so the main problem is that when account team received all those documents and might be on those received, there are some of the personal expenses are done by the employee too, right? So account team required one statement like on those expenses, how many are personal expenses done by that particular employee, right? And there would be also something like when multiple employees are on the same trip, then they are transferring amount between each other, right? So they require a transaction between each other. So account team needs to be aware about those expenses, right? So we are also solve those particular problem which not available in the market, and easily we can track all those expenses in any of the currency, right? So we get that solution.
Yeah, because we're getting paid, the money get transferred from INR to AED. We are making the expense in AED. When at the airport and some of the stores don't accept AED and they accept USD depending upon the transaction rates and everything. So this application actually supplies all those needs and all those, and it addresses all the issues that a third-party solution will not be able to suffice for us.
Honestly speaking, being multi-currency is a game changer. That's what really hit the spot for me, because multi-currency expense tracking is not something that I have. I mean, personally, I've never had to deal with it. So what was the first conversation, Tarun, that triggered this entire chain of let's start building an app?
So here the problem starts with when Varun said like he was on trip on the Dubai, right? So business trip. So suppose one employee came on the business trip, right? And 1 month business trip, right? So when he in one day he is making the 5 transaction, then in 1 month it would be a 150 transaction. So at the time he needs to enter all 150 receipts into the Excel sheet, right? He needs to take care of each and every receipt. And as the problem starts, like receipts data would be also fade away, right? So he needs to maintain and he needs to give all those 150 receipts to the account team, right? So accounts team needs to verify like which currency it is and what the problem it is, right? So it's difficult for the account team to check each and every part regarding at a one shot, right? So we make one solution like every employee, when they go on the business trip, they will receive some of the amount into their particular cards, which given by the account team, okay, with one particular currency like AED, as suppose take an example, right? So when they start making an currency, they will have one particular form. They have to enter all the data which requested by the application, and then after that data would be stored. If that amount also given to the employee in INR, okay, Indian rupee. So that can also be converted with the expense wise, and at the end we have one statement like in INR what should be the expense, and in AED if account team required, then what should be the balance. That problem we solved.
Okay. Or what are the features that we are having now that got evolved with the new problems that you probably started facing?
So basically, UAE was not the only market we used to travel, right? So we used to go that goes to Europe. We have team that goes to USA. We have around Asia. So it actually came to an idea that when going to different countries, we need different currencies. The transaction will be made in different currencies, right? So that was one of the necessary aspect of this particular solution, that this actually solves the issue of that particular conversation rates and everything with each and every employees, right? So let's say that once the trip is over and the account statement has been produced, it shows in each and every currency that how much it was paid while transferring the money into INR to, let's say, euro, let's say pounds,
right?
And how much amount was paid and how much was the balance. So if each and every aspect of the transaction was recorded, and it made, of course, the account's life very easy, account's team's life very easy.
But what is the experience like for somebody who's going to be using it?
Yes.
Also, is this app just for mobile phones, or is it, for desktops?
Yes, it's for mobile application only.
Okay. But can be built for desktops?
Yes. The organization panel company, that would be in website, and mobile application is only for users, organization user and admin also. Company admin.
Well, I guess for the accounts team, there's a web version available. So that actually makes more sense, because for the employees who are always on the go, a web version doesn't make a lot of sense.
So let's start with this particular account has been our main IndiaNIC account. Okay. So here you can see our account team head, Rakesh Panchal account. So here we have provided the facility to create any number of users. You can create with the first name, last name and mobile number. Suppose it would be your main core team member, means who doesn't require the approval of that particular expense, right, from the account team. Then we just need to turn on this particular switch. So whatever the expense is added by that particular employee would be auto approved. So what the users would be added, that we can see here. Okay. And there would be a detail like if any employee left the organization, we can remove that user also. And if we have to make that particular user admin, then we can make admin also by click on make admin. Suppose 4 team members going on the a business trip, we can make a account a group admin. Okay. So all those 3 particular person employee data would be also go to the account team and also go to the group admin. Right. So admin aware about those particular live transactions that that going on. So at least group admin can also approve those particular transactions with the group concept. That also doesn't available in any of the application.
Okay.
Yeah. So here also you can see like payment methods where we can create any number of wallets provided, like cash wallet we can create, bank wallet also we can create, and card also. Okay. Suppose you can see on that particular card assigned to any of the employee, then whatever the transaction done by that particular employee, that also can be visible. And we can also see like whatever the expenses real time that particular employee make, right? So what the current balance as he has right now, that also can be seen by the organization admin.
And this can be topped up?
Yes. So these are the basic setting. Here also we can see like accounting doesn't aware like how many expenses done in which category, right? On website, we have the report like which category, how many expenses has been happened, right? So here you can see the log, like this icon category would be by default. If any organization needs to create his own category, then they can create. Okay, you can see here all the currencies we to support. Okay, for of currency. So here default currency also can be set like it can be available when you create new card. Now jump into like home screen, right? Organization. Here you can see. I am just taking an example. When any card assigned to one of the employee, then any employee at the expense, then it can be how it can be approved. Okay. Suppose this particular transaction of the fuel is there for 30 dirham. So organization just need to approve that particular transaction. Okay. If he want to see like whatever the receipt or anything, he can make something like this. A receipt they have uploaded, admin can also review. We also provided the option for the dispute also. So like suppose this receipt is not matched with the total, right? Then account team has the option to dispute, and they can also mark a reason like what other additional information they required.
Right.
Okay. So that also, so that notification goes to the particular employee and they can mark those particular things. So these are the details like how an organization can see or account team can see those particular transaction. Here we also provided the statement like transaction. So here you can see like AED dirham transaction or anything. We can go and check. Then statement would be there. Okay.
Wow. So this is not just expense tracking. You guys are practically eliminating the entire friction of communication between, the user and the admin. It is so detailed. The fact that you have categories as well of expenses. So how about if you have like a trip, like for example, we have an employee that's going on 2 trips. So is probably going to go to US and then on the way back is going to stop by Dubai and then come back to, the home country. Does it address that situation as well?
Yes, actually it does, because as we can have multiple currencies available in the particular application. So once they are in the US, they are making transaction in USD. Once they come to, let's say, UAE, they'll be making transactions in dirhams. And if they come back to country and to the home country, and if still they have to want to make expenses, they'll be able to make in different currencies. But that should be managed from the admin side. Apart from that, I guess we also will be able to add the location of where we are making the expense, right? For example, if I'm coming to UAE and if I'm making the expense, let's say near the way downtown, I'll be able to locate that because it's Google Maps enabled. Yes.
So what happened in that case? If you want to see like where those particular transaction has been happened, that can be shown on the map too, like this way. Or at which particular area that particular expenses has been happened on the map.
Oh my God, it has location services?
Yes.
Oh.
So it would be like this particular bus station or anything.
I had absolutely no idea how detailed and how developed this actually is. And looking at it right now, I'm just like, this could be literally the answer to like 50 of our problems. And I think all that's left in the end is that I understand that this was initially and still does solve the problem for a lot of the employees that travel. Is this just as good for any administrative related expenses? How conducive is this app for a branch? How does this take care of that as well? If so, Is it any different or is it the same?
No, it is the same. Something like you create the one group for one particular Dubai office, right? And for that particular group, there would be one responsible person to manage that particular expense, right? As an account team. So whatever the expense is done for that particular users, it automatically assigned to that particular branch.
Understood. So we can easily have this for like different offices, and there's no problem with like it getting overloaded or anything like that.
Yes.
What, in your opinion, is the winning part about this product?
So the winning part about this particular product is, actually, as I said earlier in the conversation as well, that this is actually, I can use it on the go. I do not have to keep those receipts right in my pocket and or keep it properly folded and get into my wallet or anything. I can just click. Let's say, for example, I went to meet a client at a coffee house. Right now, we're having a coffee. I paid for us, and as soon as the bill comes, I click the picture, I add the expense, and I'm done. So once that is one of the things that is actually on the go. Secondly, for a winning product about this part about this is, as you mentioned, that I don't have to worry about the conversions as well of the currencies. I can just add dirham, let's say dirham 45, this was the expense, this was the category, this was the location. I can also add, there's a part where I can add the note, whether the coffee was for myself or why I was in a client meeting. So
wow.
Detail can be added. And apart from that, let's say humans make mistakes. So there's a part where I can actually edit the expense. Of course, it goes for the approval, but then there is a part for the details, like let's say I added the wrong amount, I added the wrong receipt image, right? And just not the image, we can actually click, or I can upload it from a gallery. So it has both the options for that.
So how long does it take for you to do that entire thing? Like, is it time consuming? Because that can be 15 seconds?
10 to 15 seconds. I click on plus, I click on add expense, I enter the amount, I enter the date, I select the category. If I want to add the description, I add the description, I click the picture, and I'm done.
Oh my God. Why did we never consider providing this as a solution for anybody else other than ourselves?
Everything takes time to build, right? We try to make a perfect solution, right? So all on the go, we made changes, we made edits, there were additions, we asked them to remove this particular functionality because that was creating some pain. So now that we have a complete solution ready, now I guess it's time to enter the market, right? And to answer your questions, how can a multinational company be benefited out of this product? This can be offered as a white label solution to you, right? So you don't have to rely on IndiaNIC every time you need to add an expense. So we can provide you as a white label solution. And as Tarun mentioned earlier, there is going to be a web version for it as well. So because when we talk about an accounts person dealing with, let's say, 1,000 people company, and out of them 20% of them keep on traveling, he does not have to use a cell phone for each and every person. He can just go on the web version, click on, let's say, type Varun, he'll get the details out of it. It's easier for them to use the web version rather than using a mobile app. And for us, people like us who are always on the go, it's easier for them to have a mobile application, right?
And we are that 1,000 people company. So
exactly, right?
I feel bad for Rakesh. The guy has to deal with a lot. Oh my God.
It's easier for him, and we're glad that because that increases the efficiency of the person when, it's been supported by such a beautiful app.
That is, I'm obsessed with it. Honestly, I can't wait to get myself on it. I don't know what expenses am I going to be dealing with because I don't do any of the admin stuff, but just the entire journey. It was quick, but the entire journey alone, it really feeds my OCD for the details and how structured it is, how easy it is. 10 to 15 seconds. That's crazy. If nothing else, I just want to be on it for the experience of it.
Right. It also is very beneficial for people like me who tend to be lazy. We'll do it later. And then you keep on forgetting stuff. And then you need to go each and every day. What did I do on this day? Who did I meet on this day? What did I eat on this day? And then, so I don't have to worry about it at all. Okay, I went to dinner, the bill came, I'm walking towards home, I click the picture while on the go, and I'm done.
I am so grateful for having you guys on this call. I am so grateful for you taking the time out to actually walk me through this. I'm literally saying this is because I know that we deal with so much every day. And I also know that you guys are always juggling with multiple things. But just taking time out for this, for giving the value that you did today, I promise you this is priceless. I know for a fact that this isn't going to stop here. There are going to be improvements coming. who knows? We might, have AI into it. We might, develop it into something stronger, better. But the fact of the matter is that it solves so many problems today. That alone, I feel like, makes it a winning product. And I am so glad that it comes from you guys, the people that are behind the product, the people that are taking the product, the people that are using the product. You guys are like the live testimonials, basically, of the success of this product, right? So I am so grateful.
Thank you, Javed, for having us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.